How's it going, Facebook? Well, right, so that is a 40mm diameter wheel. Alright, and I thought I'd, seen that I'm grinding a dagger, I thought I'd give you guys a bit of a heads up on a sneaky little grinding technique that I believe that very few makers actually know, right? So, let me show you this. Okay, so that's what I'm busy grinding. Right, so it's a 40mm hollow down there, and what we're trying to do is just ease her up onto the center line. Okay, now normally if you'd be grinding with your edge up, alright, but if you're sneaking up on a center line like that one there, it very often, what you'll find is if you grind with the edge down as opposed to the edge up, you can actually see the grind approaching the center line. Yeah? Okay, so I've got you guys set up extremely close, and well, let me grind, right? Okay, so 40mm, I'm using a 1-inch belt, it's 180 grit. It is not a new belt. I want to sneak up on the grind. Right, so here we go. So she's up fairly slow. And just sneaking up on that center line. Your eyes aren't deceiving you. I am grinding with the edge down, and as you can see, we're getting fairly close to that center line. Yeah, it's a bit of an uneven grind there, but as soon as you flip it around, you just clean up that hollow. And this is pre-heat treatment, so what I want to do is I actually still want to see my center scribe line. So I want to grind up to, man, that's like a 1/10 of a millimeter up to the line. And you'll notice that there's no sparks flying off, right? So you're letting the belt do the work. You're not pressurizing this thing. And obviously because I'm not adding a lot of pressure, it doesn't get as hot. You can sneak those plunges in perfectly, man. Hi, Piet. Ron, brother, thank you for adding me onto that sneaky little group of yours, right? Well, not yours, I know it's Aaron's. But the potential in that group, I reckon, dude, it's on like Donkey Kong. And it's sneaking in nicely. Okay, so I'm kind of poking my phone here, so I'm going to have to just move you guys a tad out of the way here, because I really don't want to stab my phone, right? So let's call that the inverted plunge grind. But the beauty of this technique is that you really don't add pressure. Yes, the grinds take long, but the results are freaking incredible. Okay, so there would be a normal grind, and then the inverted grind. I'm quite liking that. And the spittle, let me just stop this. So the spittle starts at my 3-inch mark. Where the hell is it now? Damn it. Okay, so there's 3 inches from the where the guard is going to be sitting. Okay, so I want those plunges to actually start splitting apart. 3 inches from that, which is, man, not even halfway down the blade, right? So yes, it's quite a nice and long one. I like this. Having a bit of fun. You're in the way again. Come on. Okay, so this is a 180, and I don't want to go too deep on it. So this side, you'll see I've already done the one side of the blade. Now I'm going to go over to the other side. And what I have is these flats on the blade. I did them both sides, right up to the tip, because you do want a dagger to not only have a taper going this way from here, going down, a taper. It's not a parallel piece of steel and then only the tip tapers. It's a stabbing weapon, so you want it to taper from the back all the way to the tip. And in that fashion there, let me go ahead and do that. In that fashion there, you also want it to taper from the ricassos to the tip. So we did the basic hollow grind, then I went and tapered both sides, and now we're matching the grind back to center line. So there you can see the flat goes all the way from there right up to the top. And we obviously want to get rid of that. So once again, the underhand grind. Take it slow. and sneak her up to that center line. And I like starting at the tip on daggers, because I mean that diamond you have on the tip there, right, where your center on your spines meet, is a distinguishing factor. And if you've got that in the center, it's a matter of just walking up. What you also need to take in consideration is when you're doing these grinds, is I'm currently running a fairly blunt 180 grit. So my next would be going to try to gauge the belt, and the belt is physically thicker than this 180. So the curvature will be a bit more. So it will reach that scribe line as soon as I go onto the A45 or 65. Then it'll hit the scribe line in the center. But I think 180 grit for a heat piece is fairly cool. Fingers are starting to cramp up. Okay, so once again doing our underground. Sneaking up onto my 3-inch little line where the punch starts diverging. This does take a bit of getting used to when you just start out doing this. So just take it slow. Take it easy. It's really light. I'm not pressing. I'm literally just holding it there and letting the abrasive do the work. I'm not trying to add any pressure. Just trust me, as soon as you just press on this thing, that undercut will come back and bite you in the ass. Yeah, I'm thinking I am pretty much there. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, so the tip is fairly thick still. Yeah, I think I'm ready for the heat treat on this thing now. Edge is still straight. Well, we'll see if that remains after heat treat, but the edge is quite thick still. What's the thickness on my edge here? So I learned my lesson from the last one. So the edge thickness on this thing, 0.6 it looks like. 0.6 mil. 0.6. 0.6. Yeah, so my edge is 0.6 mil. There's obviously still a lot of grinding to do, but man, I'm liking the lines. That is as straight as I can get them at this point. Yeah. So there's the center. There's the center. A nice little 40mm hollow on this. So it's a nice rigid spine. And that's it. I wanted to go to a, what was it? 85mm is my neck size up, which this would have looked really cool in. And then I thought, well, let me do a bit of a deep hollow. Right? I haven't done one of those in quite some time. So yeah, in comes the little. I think it's a 65. I think it's a 65. Yes. Oh, 60mm. So 60mm. Right, so guys, that was it. I am now gonna just head out. I'm literally gonna close shop now. And I think what we'll do is continue on this thing tomorrow. So what else do I need to do on this? I pretty much need to just thin out the tang, then right the back, and then thread. So cut some thread on there. First off, square it up, cut some thread, and just make sure about the measurements on the handles. And then that's it. Then I can heat treat. Yeah. Good, guys. That was it. The sneaky under grind. So normally you would grind with the edge up on a wheel. Alright. And the technique I showed you now is creeping up on that center line using an undergrind. Works like an absolute charm. Couple of things to keep into consideration is make sure that your machine is stable. Right. You don't want any vibration because you will get belt knock from where the joint is. Right. Now there's numerous ways you can go about eliminating that, and recently spoke to Mr. Jack Connon, and he gave me quite a cool little piece of advice. So that tape there, what you'll do is you'll take sanding paper and actually get rid of the grit on that joint, which will soften the little impact on it. That's if you want to go do that, then by all means, that's just another little trick. I haven't used it yet, but anyway, so the undergrind. That's it. Make sure your machine is stable, everything is tightened down on it. Run slower than you would normally, and don't use a fresh belt, but also not a completely done belt. Okay. So after you treat, you want to do that with a fresh belt. Okay. Right, guys. So that's it. Have fun, enjoy, and remember, whatever it takes, share. Cheers.